Hello everyone and welcome to Scythe, a wonderful, wonderful board game that I've been playing quite a bit in real life at the moment, but a board game I'm still not very good at, so I think I need a little bit of practice. So let's play the digital edition in the meantime. If you've never played Scythe, it's a game kind of based in, I think, alternate 1920s Europe. You have certain factions, such as Polian, which I believe is supposed to be roughly like Poland. Nordic, which is supposed to be a bit like Norway. Russia is like the Russians, Crimea, and Saxony a bit like the Germans. We're just going to go random. We're going to put all the bots to random as well, because it's fun to go random. There are also some expansions, which we may get around to. And we are playing as Pollyanna, which is actually, I think, one of my favourite factions to play as. And we're playing as Mechanical. Interesting. That is very interesting indeed. We also have a structure bonus over the tunnels. Number of tunnels, territories with your structures on them. Mine does not count as a tunnel for purposes. Okay. We're going to have to get into this and remind ourselves how to play. And also, if you haven't played before, it changes every time, because even, some countries are very good with certain player mats, and this time we have got the industrial one, I believe, which is interesting to me. So, if you haven't played this before, this is how it goes. Everyone has slightly different ways of taking actions and slightly different costs and rewards for doing that. You can see them all down here in the bottom. For example, I can trade, I can bolster power, I can move, and I can produce. And I can also do some lower turn actions, but we'll get into those when they matter. Now, I'm Pollyanna, who I actually really like playing as. I find Pollyanna to be a really useful person. And in terms of what we want to be trying to achieve, the way the game ends is that you have 6 upgrades, 4 mechs, 4 structures, 4 recruits, 8 workers, 1 completed objective, combat victory up to 2, 18 popularity, 16 power. Now that leads to you getting a star if you complete one of those. When any player has 6 stars, the game ends. Doesn't necessarily mean you'll win. Your popularity amongst the people has a huge factor as well, but again, we'll get into that later down the line. Now, just looking at the board we've been given here, we probably want to focus on not enlisting, because it's a little bit too costly for us at the moment. Maybe if we can upgrade later down the line, that'd be useful. But upgrades, we don't get much use. We don't get any rewards for doing so. We probably want to go on for mechs or for buildings. For now, though, probably what we want to do is, I'm going to just start off by moving. So I'm going to move this villager. Actually, this villager to here, this villager to here. I didn't necessarily need to move them around, but we'll do that. We also started with 2 combat cards. Excellent. So most people at the beginning will just produce, or they will trade, or something similar. Crimea will bolster, because that's generally what they're very good at. Goodness me, upgrading already. With Crimea is already upgrading, that could be a problem. So yes, every faction has very good things that they're good at, and that also depends on the way that they can play. So some people will be better at upgrading, some people will be better at making mechs. I'm generally a bit of an all-rounder with this thing that I've been given. You also cannot do the same thing twice, so I now cannot produce again. So because I cannot move again, so what I can do is produce, and I'm going to do that now. So I will produce a wood, and I'll produce a villager. No, hang on. Take that back. And now, that should give me the resources that I need. Did it? Maybe I got that wrong. Hang on. I thought I produced, but maybe I didn't. I'm going to have a look and see if I got that correct. Hang on, give me a second and I can have a look. Actually, there's a way for me to look. I can have a look up here. No, I didn't get any. I didn't do any production there. That's a problem. So never mind. We'll have to find a different way to do this. For now, we're just going to trade. And we're going to trade 4, I think probably 2 metal. Because I like to get a mech out quite early. Mechs are pretty useful. So we've got 2 metal, but we need 3 to deploy mechs. So for now we can't do much, but we will be able to in future. This next time I'll actually make sure to produce properly. Yeah, it's an interesting game. Tactically it's tough because everyone plays differently. It's hard to get a real understanding of what people are doing until it might be a little bit too late. Interesting. Okay. Alright, let's see if I can actually produce correctly now. Click on the map to produce display resources. If you want to produce this. Aha, so if I... There we go. I don't know why we didn't get that last time, but there we go. Now it works. Maybe we had some issues before. And the next time we will trade again, and that will allow us to go into a mech going forward. And that also gets us 2 coins. So like I said, we're a bit of a general all-rounder. And most people can only do 1 action per turn at the top, but then if you have the ability to do a second action down the bottom, such as upgrade or deploy or something similar, that's how you can really utilise your turns well. We only need 1 more metal, so I'm only going to grab 1 more there, and I think we also have 1 wood, so let's work towards a building as well. We will grab a wood as well. Wonderful. We can't do anything else this turn, but next turn we'll build ourselves a mech. We should be the first person to get a mech out on the field, actually, which would be wonderful. No, I lied. It looks like the Nordics will be the first to get a mech out. I thought I'd be okay, but apparently not. Never mind, that's okay. So they get a bit of coins for producing a mech. That's okay. The Huithrils can be a very powerful faction in this game. So we need to definitely watch out for them, that's for sure. And actually the Silk and the Crimeans, everyone I think is actually quite powerful. The faction I think who aren't that good are probably the Nordics, but that might just be my personal preference, really. Okay, so this time I can actually do something useful here. So what we're going to do, we've got a combat card already, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to bolster my power, as I believe that's used in combat, so we'll do that. But that also allows us to deploy. Wonderful. So we'll use our metal here. And which one do we want to go for? We want to go for River Walk. So move some lakes, to and from lakes, and move to any other lake. We can gain 1 hex per movement. In combat, do not lose popularity when forcing opponent's workers to retreat. Or move to and from lakes. Interesting. The lake walk, the submerged can actually be pretty useful. Because then we can get out into the middle quite quickly, and the middle can be pretty powerful. So I'll take Submerge, and we'll pop it down there. And that also gains us 2 gold, as you can see down there. So we've got our first mech out, which is wonderful. But we still got a long way to go before I think we can do some useful things. Lots of people upgrade. The Russians are upgrading. Also, the Huithrils are upgrading a lot, which is not necessarily a good thing. We probably want to think about getting some more workers out on the field, but the more we produce, or the more workers we have to produce with, the tougher things get. Also, being first in the middle can get us some pretty good bonuses, so we may want to think about that. For now, I'm going to just move, so I'll confirm that. You are going to go out to a lake here, because then you can move. But you can only move 1 per turn, that's okay. And I'm going to move this, I'm going to leave that chap there so we can get another person on wood. So I'm actually okay to leave people how they are at the moment. I can still make them 1 move. So let's see, where can I move the mech to that would be useful? Actually, we can move the mech out to the lake as well. That's fine, because then we may be able to do some combat. Getting a couple of combat stars might be useful, because everyone can go for different stars. That's not necessarily an issue. And there are certain things that we can do to gain objectives. So roll up your sleeves as a common man, have $2 or less, at least 4 workers, and at least 7 popularity. We're not too far off that already, to be honest. Or do Foundations of the Empire. Have at least 6 of your tokens, i.e. character workers, techs, and structures on 1 territory. That's not hard to do, actually. So we could probably do that fairly soon. Probably via a production. people are going for the upgrades, and it's a bit infuriating for me that upgrades are so expensive. And they don't really have many benefits either. So because I can't move again, I'm going to produce, and I'll produce here, produce 2 workers, and also produce the wood, which is wonderful. There's not much else we can do, but next time we move, we now have 3 wood and we can build a structure, which is good. You can't always focus on everything, so you have to focus on certain things. You're never going to be able to do everything that you want. You're never going to be able to maximize everything. You have to work out what your faction is good at, and mine is going to be a decent at mechs and buildings. Enlisting recruits would be wonderful, but they're too expensive, and upgrades don't have many additional benefits, so we're going to have to work out how to do things well. For now, though, we're going to move. So I want to get you out to the middle as soon as possible, really. So there's a mech there, so we need to be pretty quick about getting to the middle. Because are you a Riverwalk mech? You might be a Riverwalk mech. For safety, for at least for relative safety, we'll go to here in the lake, and we'll bring the mech out with us as I'm actually going to move the mech over to here. I'm concerned about those workers. Your workers won't die if they get attacked, but it is an important thing to watch out for. They'll just get sent back to your original starting location. Okay, so there's 3 wood there, and what would we want to work on? We can get an armory. So armory would allow us to, whenever we use a trade action, you also gain 1 power. It's quite useful. Construction monument, and that allows us to, whenever we use the bolster action, we also gain 1 popularity. We're not going to be bolstering that much, to be honest. The mines allows us to move to other tunnels, but we can use the lakes, or we can construct the mill, so that can be used as kind of a additional work, and that's not necessarily a bad thing at all. I think we will be trading quite a bit, so we'll take the armory. Now, I just need to have a look at how we need to be building. A number of tunnel territories within your structures on them. A mine does not count as a tunnel for this purpose, so we need to be building next to tunnels. So we want to be building here and here, really. So we'll build that there, because I think we might want to build a monument, also a mill on the forest. I think that would be the best idea to do. Now that gave us a little bit of gold, and we're starting to now get a mech out and a building out. I want to be the first to the middle, because the middle can prove to have some very, very useful benefits. And I still can do something if I'm not first to the middle, but it means I'd have to fight for it. And I'm not necessarily sure that's a good idea. Because it looks like the Barony of Saxony are coming out for a fight as well. The good thing about the Polyanas is that we can just jump into the lakes and run away quickly. At least that's the plan. So we're going to have to bear that in mind. But we have just moved and built, so we're going to have to do something else. We'll probably trade, because I don't like how warlike the Saxons are being, to be honest with you. Now, we cannot... We could produce, and we could get all our workers out. We'd be the first person with a star. But I don't think that's the best option to do at the moment. Probably I want to work on getting a couple more mechs out. So for that we want metal. So I will... Will I do that? Or do I go all in on getting all my workers out? And I think I'm actually going to do that. So I'm going to produce. Let's produce 3 there. And I'm the first person with a star. So Proletariat, get all the workers. Wonderful. So I believe I'm the first person with a star. Yes, I am. But that doesn't necessarily mean I'm winning. Almost somewhat not, to be honest. But that does give me a lot of flexibility to start gaining resources quickly. Although I do have to start paying for them. So that's something I'm going to have to bear in mind. You can complete an objective. I don't want to end my turn. No. Foundations of the Empire. Oh yes, of course. I had a good objective here. I've at least 6 of your tokens, characters, workers, mechs, and structures in one territory, and I do have the workers and a structure. Complete that, gets me 2 stars. The Challenger completed 2 objectives. So there we go, we're already at 2 stars. I'd say that's a pretty good turn, actually. Getting 2 stars in one turn is not bad at all. But I now cannot complete any objectives. Any other objectives, I should say. Because you can only do 1 objective per turn. We do have a couple of combat cards, but we need to keep an eye on our power, because power is what's used for combat when you're not... You know, you can use the cards to help, but really base power is what you need. I want to get to the middle ASAP, and I think we'll be the first person to get there, and it can be very, very useful indeed. If we can find a way to get upgrades, that'd be useful, but we'll have to see what opportunities turn up for us. And then we're going to go back and start getting some of these objectives here, the ones with the green circles. I should have actually gone there much earlier, but I do find that sometimes it's best to rush the middle. We can go back to those afterwards. So for now I'm going to move. So I'll confirm I'm going to move my mech to here to somewhat protect these workers, and I think it means I can move all the people with them. I think all the workers can move with the mech at the same time, so it's quite useful. And you, good sir, are going to the middle. Now I can use the factory card, and the factory cards can be very useful. So I can pay 1 card to gain 1 upgrade and 1 popular on power. That's pretty powerful, actually. Especially as we have issues with upgrades. I can pay 1 gold and 1 factory card to gain 2 resources. Interesting. 1 popularity to gain 3 gold. Pay 2 different resources to gain 1 recruit, or 2 different resources to gain 1 upgrade. Maybe not bad at all. Pay 1 of any resource to gain a power, a popularity, and a gold. Also very nice. Or pay 2 gold to gain 1... I'm not sure what that is, actually. That's 1 enlistment. And 1 power. Goodness me, all of those are very good. The cards are very powerful. I want to hold on to them for combat, really. I think I can only have 1 factory card at the same time. Paying 2 different resources to gain 1 upgrade or 1 recruit is probably the most versatile. Let's go for that one. And I think it also just allows us to move faster as well. Excellent. Yeah, so move 1 unit up to 2 times with the same move action, yeah. Excellent. Well, it's great that we're in the middle now, but it looks like we've got a battle on our hands. Who's attacking us? The Nordics. Now they have... Do we know how much power they can have? They have up to 12, it seems. So I can go up to 7. And then I can use 1 card. We'll give it a go. Something tells me they're going to win. Oh, they just win Nordic victory. So Nordics will get a star. And I've spent a card. Get a combat card. I will accept the combat card. That will send me back to my starting location. That's not necessarily a bad thing, actually. Because I got to the middle. I got what I wanted. Although I did have to spend a combat card. Although I got a combat card of 5. That's pretty good, all things considered. Probably the first thing I want to do then is move towards these events, because these events can be very powerful for the Pollyanas. I need to make good use of their events. I need to make good use of the event ability that I have. Pick up to 2 options per encounter card, absolutely. I actually really like the Pollyanas in general. Unfortunately, Saxony's got that encounter, but that's okay. Now, I do have... I can fast move twice, so I'm actually going to do that. Although I can't... Oh, maybe I... Will I wait? Because I'd like to do the factory thing as well. So actually, let's trade 1 gold. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll trade 1 gold. And what do we want to focus on? Doesn't really matter. We'll take 2 wood because we can then build again. But really, I just want to get down to the encounter card because that would actually really help us in future. But having the ability to get 2 options from that encounter card could be pretty useful. So actually, I might just skip that entirely and go straight for the fast move. But now that we've got that factory move, we can pretty much move continuously because we can do 2 moves once or 1 move twice, and that's pretty useful. So technically we're in the lead in terms of stars, but it's going to be a long way yet before we actually have any luck and see who's winning. In terms of popularity, it looks like Saxony is at top at the moment. And popularity does indeed matter, that's for sure. Right, what is next for us to manage? I think I'm going to go for as many of these encounters as I possibly can. Because upgrades and Innis recruits are just not going to be good for me at the moment. By the way, I don't really want to attack Saxony or Crimea because they are very good fighters. I'd rather go after the Nordics up in the top, I think. Now I can move, but I'd like to get out to here this turn if I possibly could. So I'm actually going to do the fast moving, which is probably not the best idea. So I'm going to move. I will skip my top action, move my top action thing, that's okay. And that should get me a thing here. So I can help an investor install a heavy gear, so I can gain 2 oil and 1 popularity. Pay $3 to build 1 structure, very useful. Or pay 2 popularity to gain 4 oil. Now oil could be useful for an upgrade. Or I can gain 2 oil and 1 popularity. I'm going to actually do that one. I'm going to do that one. And I should get 2 choices. So hire the inventor. So yeah, I'll take that. And I'll hire the inventor and fund his crazy inventions so we can work towards getting 3 structures. That's actually pretty good. I think we might only be able to do that next turn, however. But that's okay. I think we have 1 construction already ready to go. Let's hope I got that correct and didn't just mess that up. I might have done, who knows. Okay, so lots of recruiting happening at the moment. And people can start getting more stars pretty soon. Okay. We can actually get upgrades much cheaper than via the official way of doing it. We can just spend any 2 resources. Now, I can do plenty of building here, so I'm just going to start moving people. I really don't like how many mechs are there, goodness me. I'm going to move my mech over here, so I'll confirm that. So I'll take my mech with all my chaps as well. Can I do that? I thought I could move my guys as well. No I can't, okay. I might have got that slightly wrong, that's okay. We will build using our 3 wood. I'm still getting used to how this system works a little bit. Now what do we do a lot of? We do a lot of trading, we've already done that. Bolstering we may do. I'd like to get a mill down. Probably on the... I'd love to get down the metal, but we don't actually have people down. So we might actually be better getting a mine down, or maybe the monument. Yeah, we may bolster occasionally. Oh no, I should have done... I did that in the wrong place, never mind. Okay, I should have built it over there. But I don't think there's a way to go back on my actions, so that's okay. We'll just have to deal with that. Okay, looks like Saxony's got a star as well. Which one was that? Was that the... Okay, yeah, Saxony got all their mechs out, that makes sense. Makes sense indeed. Okay. I'd like to get some more of these kind of encounter cards, but we've been a bit late getting to them as the Polyanas, so I've kind of messed that up somewhat. But I have to just take that into account. I also need to up my power considerably because my power is rather low at the moment. But the more I trade, the more that helps, so I don't mind that necessarily. Okay. What do we want to do now? I think we'll probably move. Probably this, using this. In terms of upgrades, I want to make my mechs a little bit cheaper. So I'll probably upgrade the one metal on the mech. I think that's the best thing I can do. So I will go for an upgrade. Setting this action, not enough resources. I've got 2 oil. Can I not do that? Pay 2. Oh, it's 2 different resources. That's admittingly unhelpful. Right. Is there anything I can? I'm still gonna do that. I think I'm still gonna do my production row. So I'm gonna move you to here, and then up to. Where's another objective that I can get to quickly? There's an objective there, which I don't think many people will be able to get to, but it's right next to Rusviet. That might be a mistake. Where else could we find one? There's not many left on the map. There's one up here as well. I'm not sure I want to give the Nordics a 2nd star, though. So I'll move there. I think that'll be the best option. There's not much else we can do, so we'll just end our turn. Really depends if the Rusviets come to attack us. We've got a combat card of 5, but our power is shockingly low. Okay, some people are starting to get some stars now. The Rusviets still haven't got one. But I'm concerned about the amount of power people have. But Rusviets have only got a power of 2. So, well, 3 now. Only 1, so I'd actually be might actually be the best people to attack, to be honest. But I don't want to attack multiple mechs at the same time, as I'm not sure that would work in my favour. Because I think that would allow them to use multiple combat cards. I certainly don't want that. If I could get them out on their own, that might be the best way to do that. We'll have to see. I could go after Saxony, but Saxony has got a lot of power, I think. Now, Saxony has got 1 power as well, but I think they can use multiple cards per turn, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to see if I can remember. I don't think it tells me here. I can move, and that will allow me to get there, so I will do that. And I'm going to move the mech. Am I going to move the mech? No, I'm not actually. I'm going to move you. I'm going to move one of the workers down to the food. That's okay. And I'll move you over to here. And I'll end my move. And this time, let's make sure I get this correct. So I can pay 2 popularity to build 1 structure. I'll gain 2 food and 1 popularity, or pay 2 gold to gain 1 worker and 3 food. I will banish the lady from her family's land. And I'll build the mill. I could do that on here on the metal, but it could be destroyed, and I'd like to build it over somewhere else, but it seems that's the only place I can build it. Inspire mines, that's okay. And I'll also... I don't need another worker. I'd rather gain the food and popularity, I think. So I will take... I think that might be where I went wrong. I didn't take it before. So that's okay. There is still one more up there, which I might try rush if I can with my Lakemen here, because they are very useful for me. Just to get additional bonuses. I'm very concerned about these chaps all here, though. But let's end our turn, see what happens now. Maybe I could go try and attack one of the Rusviets. I mean, they don't really have much power. The people who've got lots of power are the Nordics and the Crimeans. But the Crimeans have good. I think Saxony and Crimeans are good with combat cards, so I probably want to focus on the Rusviets for combat. And now lots of people are getting 2 stars as well, so I need to start picking up the pace, otherwise I'm going to fall behind. And popularity does matter considerably as well. So I think Saxony is probably in the lead at the moment, I would say. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. Now, for us, we can get up there straight away, but again, I'm not sure how that would be very useful for us, but I'm hoping we should now be able to do this. Because we gained 2 food, did we not? Well, I thought I gained 2 food. I did gain 2 food, good. So I'll do the top action. Do I want to recruit or do I want to upgrade? Probably want to upgrade. And I want to upgrade the... I'll use... one. So I'll pay with the food. And a... oil from here. And I'm going to upgrade to make my... What do I want to upgrade? I thought I could upgrade something on the top layer, but I guess not. Oh no, of course, yes. So you move one from the top down to the bottom. So I can up my reputation, I can produce a bit more, but I haven't really been producing that much. I mean, having an extra production would be useful. Having extra movement might be useful. I'm trying to think of what we actually need. Probably I'm going to upgrade the trade. Yeah, upgrade the trade, and I'll move it down to the mechs to make our mechs cheaper. I think that's the best option. And I'm also going to move, as I can have 2 moves with this chap. I'll move up to this lake. And then hopefully next turn I can get up there. It might end up being that the Nordics come and attack me, in which case I'm kind of screwed. Are they going to do so? No, they're moving over here. Oh, actually I didn't even see there's 2 of these here. That's quite useful to know. Because we really should be taking advantage of these benefits that we get as the Polyanas. How are people doing? Anyone on 3 stars? Yeah, the Nordics are. That's mildly troublesome. From 2 combats. Was that my combat? Was that me? Was that my territory? No, I don't think it was. I think they attacked someone else. That's a mild concern. How are we doing in terms of power? We haven't been really going for a very military focused game, to be honest. Okay. We also need to work on the popularity, but that's why we are starting to pay more for it. In terms of what we can do this turn, I can move, and I think that is still probably the best option to do. So I'm going to move you up to... And how much... the Nordics have lots of power, don't they? And you've also got 3 stars, that's a problem. The Nordics have only got 3, so I might be able to get away with it. So actually I could go try for an attack to get another star. I'm going to go for this one here to ensure that the Nordic person can't get that encounter. And I'm going to move this chap over to the wood to produce when we need to. Okay, what do we get from here? So we can show the farm the control you have over the animal. So again, 2 popularity and 1 power. Can make 2 popularity to build 1 structure. That will give us the 4th structure, I believe. Hang on, let me have a look. Yeah, we're the only one who's building structures, actually. So I will pay 2 popularities to build 1 structure. And I will build the only one I can left, the mine. Probably not very helpful, and not where I'd like to realistically build it. But I built all structures, so I'm now a real estate magnate. And this second one is hard. Gain 2 power, 1 popularity, or pay 2 gold to gain 4 power. Now 4 power would be useful, but popularity is also useful and doesn't cost me anything. What do I want to do here? I'll pay for the power because we might be going into a fight sometime soon, I would say. I think that's probably the best option. We might be able to brute force against the Nordics. They've got 5, they've got 3, we have 4. We have 5 actually. So if they don't get a huge amount here, we might even be able to steal some of their resources, which would be wonderful, and get a star in the process. We've managed to build all our structures, that's good, so we're up to 3 stars as well. But we need to keep an eye on popularity. Our popularity is very low. We're not a very popular faction. And popularity really will matter. Obviously more stars help, but popularity is also significantly useful as well. There's a lot of resources I'd love to take from there, but I'm not sure that's going to be entirely possible against the Crimeans. The Crimeans are a very powerful faction in terms of military might, not people I want to go after. But I think we can go against the Nordics this turn. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pay to upgrade again. This time I'm probably going to work on moving enough people. Possibly even production, actually. So I will pay 2 different resources to upgrade. So I'll take 1 from here. And then I'll take a... I don't think I have oil somewhere. I've got an oil here. And I'll upgrade... What will I upgrade? Yeah, I think I'll take the production off. Or make production better. And I'll put that down onto... I can make mechs really cheap. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll make mechs really cheap for ourselves. And then I'll fast move as well. And I'd actually like to go into combat if I can. Because there's a bunch of resources I'd like to steal. As far as I'm aware, there's only 1 mech there. Can we actually defeat you in a fight? We have equal power. No, we have more power, okay. So we'll be able to take all their resources, I hope. And I will engage in combat. Now, ties go to the attacking player. So we should be okay. They only have up to 8, I believe. Yeah, they can only field 8 at most. And ties do go to me. So I'm not going to use all my power. They can only go 0 to 8, so let's do that. I don't know if they can use a card or not. No, they're only going to put in 1. So we probably went a bit over the top there. But I wanted to make sure I win that, because that's also a lot of... That's a star for us, but that's also a lot of resources gained. However, that does lower our popularity because we displace some workers. Not ideal, but if we can get 4 stars, we're at least going to be in the lead. And I think that's a useful place to be, I would say. Okay. Now, we've got 4 stars. We could go for another combat star, maybe, or we could go for something else. We do need to work on our popularity, because popularity is going to be blooming important. So we might spend a little bit of time here just getting some popularity up, and that does also help with getting our power back up as well. And we can also get mechs very, very cheaply. So we'll probably do that as well. We'll trade to get some metal. Because we don't have any metal right where we are, but we did get some resources from up there. Sadly not the ones we need. We could also go for upgrades actually, because we have the ability to do that quite often. You're just going to bolster, that's okay. And then bolster and enlist, that makes sense. We haven't really been doing much enlisting the entire game, to be honest. Enlisting is where the player to either side of you does an action and you gain a benefit or a reward from doing so. It's useful, but for us it's been so expensive to do that it's never really been worth it, I don't think. Now we have a bunch of resources, which is wonderful. We could actually enlist now, but it's probably a bit too late to be enlisting. So I'm going to trade for 2 metal. And I'll just do it here where our mech is, where it's relatively safe. We do also gain a power from doing so. And there's nothing else that we can do this turn. Sadly, we don't have quite enough oil to do an upgrade, even though it wouldn't be very useful for us. We wouldn't get any good rewards, so we could still do something useful with upgrading, but sadly not this time. We do have a kind of cheaper way to get upgrades done. But this game is about planning and making sure your turns go as efficiently as possible, because we're on round 20, and I'd say we're ending kind of the latter stages now of this game. So let's carry on, see what happens. We'll go back to the fast speed, actually. I think that works better. Although sometimes it does move quite quickly and you have to pay attention. Is anyone else on 4 stars yet? Oh my goodness, look at Saxony on 5. Why are you on 5? Lots of people on 4 stars. We have no popularity. We are almost certainly going to come 4th or 5th. I think the rest of it might take 5th, but still. Right, what can we do now? We can... I want to get popularity really, but that's not an option. It's probably a bit too... Is it too late to build mechs? We've only got 1 mech so far. It's probably not the best thing to be focusing on. We do get 2 gold for doing so. But actually, let's focus on this for the time being. Let's go for another upgrade. So I'll pay... We've got plenty of food, so we can pay with that, and I'll pay with some wood as well. And I'll get the movement up, I think. And I'll make our upgrades slightly cheaper. Because we're going to be doing that action a lot, it makes sense. And I'm going to move as quick as possible. So we'll confirm that, a fast move. Through here. Leave resources unattended. I can transport them with me. I can remember how to do that. Where is the transport window? But that's fine. We can do that. I want some to. Okay. Gain 3. Pay 3 popularity to deploy 1 mech. We can't do that. So we'll gain $2 and 1 popularity. That's fine. And I'll also pay 2 gold to gain 4 metal. I will happily take 4 metal. Goes there. And we can use that metal to deploy mechs next time. We need to work on our popularity before the end of the game. I don't think we're going to win. I think that's probably going to go to Saxony. Because they're popular and they've got 5 stars. It's not going to take them long to get a 6 star from somewhere. Although they have got all the combat stars now. So we'll see. And also, I don't think we even really want the game to end right now. Even if we could end it, I don't think it'd be the right decision to do. We will, I think, pay 1 gold to gain 2 popularity. Either I suggest it's not the ideal It's not an ideal thing to do, and actually we can't spend those oil, annoyingly, because we're not actually sitting on top of it. And if someone goes back onto the tunnel, we're in some issues. So next time we're going to move and go back onto that wood if we can. But I'm concerned about our popularity levels. So if I go to sword calculations, yeah. If you're in that second tier, you're going to do really well. And we are the ones who are lagging behind in terms of popularity. Back to my turn. Russians and Saxons are both... Sorry, the Crimeans and the Saxons are both on 5 stars, to be expected. Those two are some of the powerhouses of this game, I find. Well, what do I want to do here? We could build mechs, but again, I don't think it's really worth it at this stage. Because we can only build kind of 1 mech per turn. Power's fine, but I don't really see how it's going to be that useful to us. Is there someone cheap? Is there someone who's low on power that I can kill? Again, the Saxons, to be honest, but I don't think there's anyone nearby that I can easily snipe. Certainly I don't want to go after the Crimeans. Saxony has no power at the moment, but it can use a lot of cards. So let's try this. Let's move. You're going to move back here. Leaving the metal undetected. Is that a good idea? It's fine for now. The mine's in an awkward position, so we can't use that effectively. I'd like to move one of the mechs over this way, and we'll get them over to that metal eventually. No, that was the mech I meant to move. Bugger. I don't think I can take that back, can I? No. Okay, that was not what I really intended to do. And actually now we're kind of in 4th place looking at things. Everyone else has got a lot more popularity than I do. This is a game I really struggle with. I really enjoy it, but it's a ball game I'm not that good at. It's a ball game that I want to learn more about, I want to get better at, and hence why I'm playing it, you know, but I do just struggle with it, to be honest. Most people now go for recruiting. That will give them their 6th star. For me, what can I do to get another star quickly? I can upgrade. How many upgrades am I on? I'm on 3. I could go for a combat star. Is there anyone I can go for combat easily on? Not particularly. A lot of people have a lot of powerful cards. So let's go for this one here. I'm going to pay 1 gold to gain 2 popularity. And I'm also going to upgrade as well. I won't get many benefits for doing so. But I just want to try get another... star that way. So we'll use the gold there and we will put that down onto that build function there. That's okay. I think we've squandered this at the last second. I think we're going to come 4th. I think we're going to lose to the... I think we're going to lose kind of behind the Rusviets. I mean, the Rusviets will lose behind us, I think. But even they're starting to do better now as well. And actually, they've got good popularity. We do not. So that could be a real problem for us. Okay, we can upgrade, which would be useful. We have no gold, which is a problem. But I will keep upgrading. And I might go for a combat if I find someone weak enough. So I will use 2 food, or use food, and I'll use a metal from over here. And I'm going to upgrade my bolster combat cards, and I'll put it into you. And I'll also fast move as well. Now, is there anyone I think I can go for a combat against? Really, the only people I think I could go against would be the Crimeans with only 2 power. Is there a Crimean kind of by himself somewhere? I can go down to here. I'd lose 1 popularity for going after that worker there. But it will give me another star. Also go after Saxony, but that's a terrible idea. I think we have to attempt this, even though we'll lose the popularity for doing so. I will leave my resources behind to go for an attack. Enemies. Okay, we lose the random scout card, random attacking card. Thankfully, we're okay. I'm going to put all my. They can only go up to 7 because they've only got 2 power, but they could have a potential up to 5 cards. So we'll go for 7 because ties go to us. Execute Order 66. So we defeated an enemy hero. Pollyanna's victory, that should give us another star, that puts us up to 5. We win 2 battles, to the victor go the spoils. We lose the popularity for killing a worker. But if we upgrade, that will get us to 6. My concern is our popularity would not win us the game. Without the popularity, we will not win. Some of these guys on some very high popularity indeed. Look at that, 15. They're going to absolutely wipe the floor with us. Right. We're going to end the turn because not much we can do. I strongly suspect that we have thrown this away by not having enough popularity. I'm just going to have to start farming popularity as best possible now. And still upgrade at the same time. But without gold, that's a problem as well. I can move and I could just build a mech, which would give me 2 gold straight away. So I'll do that because then I could do that some way. So I'll deploy a mech here. That's really the only place I can do. 1 hex per movement speed, that's probably useful. I could have taken camaraderie and it would have been actually a good thing to do earlier on. I'm not going to do that now. I'll take the speed and I'll build the mech next to the lake because the lake's allowed me to move. It gives me 2 gold. Not going to be enough, I don't think. How are people doing on their recruitment? As soon as someone gets to 8 villagers or 8 workers, that'll be it. Oh, there we go. The Rusviets got 6 stars. Where on earth did they come from? Right. We are in a bad spot. Oh my goodness, we've been absolutely murdered. Goodness me. That's an absolute slaughter. So the Rusviets win. That was horrendous. And all that comes from popularity. A lot of that comes from popularity. Goodness me. The popularity score multiplier really does have important effects, and I neglected it too much this game. And the Rusviets coming from out of nowhere, they were in last place for a great deal of that game. They only win by 1 point, thanks to Saxony's being in the higher popularity table. But goodness me, Pollyanna, I apologise. Or even Polonia, I've been saying that wrong as well. We are going to have to give this another go when I'm a little bit more familiar with this in a much better situation. It is also hard, it's a little hard for me to visualise it when playing it on the computer as opposed to a board game. I find it easier to visualise that all there, especially because it's such a tough game to visualise because everyone has slightly different methods of playing because that's the nature of the game. But I think we'll leave it there. That was an absolute slaughter of us in Scythe. Thank you so much for watching. I may well do another Scythe video in the future, or maybe we'll do a live stream of board games. That might be fun. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.